Hi and welcome along to another video. We're going to have a look today at the Grundig Yacht Boy 210 from 1970, made in Portugal. This set, I'm sure everyone's familiar with it. It's quite a chunky old thing, so I've got the camera well back here. These are lovely sets. The problem with all Grundigs, the same as the Melody Boy, is they can be a bit cosmetically challenged, and this one sure is. However, it does have both of its knobs, which are usually one or the other is often missing when you see them on eBay and stuff. Now, I've got this one from a chap about 20 miles from me. He's actually owned it from new, and there's the original owner's manual. And I also got with this radio a Hacker Harrier, which I've been working on the last few days. Very nice condition, just needed a little bit of detailing and the aerial fixing, because the aerial was actually broken, but I've managed to recrimp and fix the aerial, so it's quite a bargain all in all. Now, as I say, this set is cosmetically challenged. Things to watch out for are missing station markers, like this one's missing them. And there's the trim that is usually or sometimes missing, so that's a strip off the back. Luckily the seller had kept it. And this is the wave band strip on top, and usually, like this one, the markings have gone. So we've got some work to do with this. It was working, the seller showed me it working, and I got it home a couple of weeks ago and was playing with it in the evening. Sounds really nice. I tried it this morning and it didn't work at all. So I must admit, I have been inside it and I have fixed the issue. There are in fact two issues, so we're just going to have a look at that, and I'll take it apart and show the inside. Right, to get inside the set, there are 3 screws on the bottom, and this one has got the mains transformer adapter inside, so 1, 2, 3 screws on the bottom, which I'll just undo quickly. So sometimes these can be really badly knocked about. They're not wood at all, it's like a plastic covering on top of the plastic, like a wood effect. But they would look nice with nice end cheeks on them, I'm sure. Sometimes this panel here is broken away and missing. This actually just slides away like this with the mains lead inside, and sometimes this panel on the bottom's missing where the batteries go. It's not actually retained by anything, just those 3 little finger slots. Once you've undone those 3 slots there, the back just lifts off. Sometimes it's a little bit sticky because of all the years of grime and stuff that I've got behind here, so that just lifts off. The plug, if it's a British plug, goes out like that, and you're in to the inside of the radio. So that can go safely behind me, and I'll just turn off and we'll have a look in detail at the back. Right, here's a close look at the inside. This one had a few issues, as I said, I've already worked on. One was the aerial here. The aerial is soldered into the top here, and the solder had broken away, so I've got my 100-watt gun on that and fixed that. This one has got the 9-volt adapter, and this is one of the issues, in that these battery connection type things here, that doesn't make a good connection. I think the wires might have gone inside, so we're going to have to lose that and try and fix that somehow. And as usual, there's various foam strips. There's one across here, one at the back of this box here, and another one here that's lost its foam. And this is quite important on the Yacht Boy because they are very bass resonant, and the cabinet tends to rattle a bit if you haven't got that foam there. So I'm going to need to replace that. Other than that, it's quite a straightforward set. To get the set out, or to get the PCB out, you just need a 4mm nut driver, and we've got these 4 bronze screws here. Get that one out as usual. There we go. So you just got these bronze screws to get out, and put that aerial down. And that was the other problem, this area was completely jammed, so I've managed to free that up. As I say, I did some of that cosmetic work, and then I got it, so I was going to make a video of it, just you know, cleaning it up, but I tried it this morning and it wasn't working at all. So that's it, just the 4 screws to get out, and then the PCB just pulls out once you've got the knobs off, of course. And there's a little plastic bit on the end of the aerial here, so don't lose that. There we go. And there's the unit out of the chassis. So I'm just going to put that little plastic bit somewhere safe that goes on top of the aerial. So there she is. Not much to them. But because it's a Grundig, it's going to be really awkward to work on. Now let me reposition the camera and we'll have a look overhead. Right, so just to look at the front of the PCB. We've got the volume control section here on its own separate PCB board, and then we've got all the RF section here, and then we've got the amplifier section here. So I've already replaced 3 of these capacitors here. This one was totally gone, and that was stopping, so at some point when it was working and me turning it off last week and then trying it on today, that cap completely failed. And that's a Fraco. Funnily enough, the other 2, these ones, and they're all the same value but a different manufacturer, these ones were absolutely fine. So I don't know what the problem there was, but that one was the culprit. So that must be coupling the RF or the audio signal out of the detector into the amplifier, and that had completely gone. So we've got 2 issues left to fix. We've got this power supply here with the this little battery snap type thing is no longer working properly, and the other issue we've got is to clean it all up. So let's have a look at this battery snap first. Right, so what we're going to do is make sure that it's not the connections on the actual transformer here. So if I press and wiggle, that isn't really moving from 9.6 volts. So it's definitely the battery snap that's at fault. But what I'm going to do is, these connections are rather tarnished anyway, so we're just going to clean those up quickly. So what I'm going to do is just clean them up using a fiberglass pen. Always wear safety glasses when you're using these, because if those little bits of fiberglass get in your eyes, then that is a trip up to the hospital. and a very unpleasant procedure. And how do I know? Because my friend, years ago when I used to be a model maker, he got some bits in his eye. There, somewhat better. Now with the set on, I'm just going to test the battery connection. You can see I've got it on continuity test, and I'm trying to flex there, and so we've got an issue, and that is not good. Right, so I'm going to have to try and repair this. Right, I've I'll start again, shall I? I've carefully slit along here so we can heat weld it back up again. And you can see inside, there's the culprit. There, it's broken off. So let's just get some of this insulation off. And we'll try again. This is going to be a nightmare. Right, let's turn it inside out. Right, soldering on. This is not going to... Oh, there you go, there's the broken off bit. This is actually a little bit of a pickle to do one-handed on camera. Let's hold that down a minute. Get some solder in. Without melting. So let's tin that. Oh, this is going to be fun. Right, let's see if I can do it without burning myself. Not the greatest joint in the world. I've actually got the tripod in between my arm and my body, so that's not particularly good. And that press stud thing is actually pretty flipping hot. There, that's a bit better, and now my fingers are burning. Ouch. That's a bit better. Right, and then we can try to seal that back up, which I might do later because I'm sure I'll just bodge it on camera, but it needs some sort of long wire and then just pressed on there like they would have originally done at the factory. So that's fixed that. I'll just set up and we can plug it in and see if that's worked. Right, ready? Fire in the hole. Well, that works.
If you do that, I think, you know, we'll be doing a good job. I can't see how anyone could watch this and not engage in a very serious...
Right, next job. I think I put 3 new capacitors in it already. I've got 2 more to change. Undoubtedly there's a capacitor in here that will need changing. So let's just pull the plug and we'll have a look at what's inside this unit here. Let's just drop down. As as you can see, this whole set is really dusty, and especially on the bottom, and it's not helped by all the foam padding as well, all that. And if I remember this unit from a few years ago, these screws go through the transformer. So let's have a look. There we go. You can see that. So I'm going to test that little girl. So it's just a normal. We've got a regulator, transistor there, I don't know what that is. We've got diode there, fuse. I don't know if there's anything on the other side of the PCB. And we've got a smoothing capacitor. And there's a resistor there as well. All very 1970s. Sticks out 9 volts obviously, and that is an insulated capacitor, so the can's insulated from this heat sink here. Nicely done. So I'm going to take this out and test it out of circuit and see what we've got, whether it's high ESR or not, because you don't want to put any ripple on your set from this unit here. Right, that capacitor seems okay, however, I've just been trying to get the value. Look, can you see what I can see? Look at that selenium rectifier, look. That is very bad news. Now that's a 30 volt rectifier, so I can probably stick anything in there within reason. But that has got a little bit hot, hasn't it? Now that is an ITT B30C 400-1 selenium. So I bet that absolutely stunk, and that's might be why I was seeing a little bit of ripple when I first tested the set, when I first tested this unit. That is nasty. So I'm going to have to go away now and stop filming and do some experimentation with some silicon bridge rectifiers. Just a close up of that selenium rectifier. Let's crack the case. Not good. So I'm going to try an 800 volt at 2 amp job. Just there, should work fine. Might have to put another resistor in, but we'll have a look. Right, here we are after much bodging around and testing. I've used a 2kbp OAM 800 volt 2 amp rectifier, which seems a bit overkill, seeing as the original was 30 volts at I think 400 milliamps, but anyway, it still worked. Now, to compensate for the increased efficiency of the silicon diode, I've put a 100R resistor in series with the output of the bridge. Now, I know what you're thinking, and it's exactly what I'm thinking. That's the 3-watt resistor right next to a plastic case. I'm not sure how hot that's going to get. In several of my German valve radio sets that I've repaired, that doesn't get that hot at all actually. So anyway, is to leave this unit out of the radio and see how hot it gets. If it starts to show signs of getting really hot in this area, I'm just going to have to buy a new unit from somewhere, because there's not a lot of room to work on in here, and there's no point in putting a selenium rectifier back in it. It's quite interesting to see how cracked that actually is. It's all melted and Evidently when these go they give off a nasty, really horrible smell, but I can't smell anything here out of that one. But it definitely looks like it's gone bang, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm getting 9.45 volts out of this, which is a little bit less than it was before. I could have probably put an 82R resistor in front there, but anyway, that's what went in, 100R. 9.45 volts is about reasonable. So, happy with that. Let's get on to the next thing.